Interested in connecting with the power names of God and truly transforming your life? Then stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and here on Deep Mind Squared, we talk all things bridging spirituality and mental health. And in this video today, I wanted to talk about a book. So I guess it's a little bit of a book review, and I hope that you enjoy this video as much as I enjoy making it. Before we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're updated on future video releases, because I feel I have a lot more books I'd love to review and share with you. And also feel free to hit the like button and share it with anyone you think might be interested. So the book I'm going to review today is by Damon Brand, who is one of the writers, pseudonym writers, I don't really know, from the Gallery of Magick. And the book is the 72 Sigils of Power. Without getting into too much of the specifics on how you use the book and all that stuff, I really encourage you to get it. You can find it on Amazon, like super cheap. I got it on Kindle. That's where I look at it because I love being able to like see the sigils on the screen. But this book is just so transformative. Like I would say, well, there's probably two books. I'll talk about the other one, the cash book. I like the magical cash book as well. But this power sigil book is just like mind-blowing because it really gives you the power back. So the whole idea of these sigils, or these power names of God, is that they were taken from the Hebrew, like Old Testament or Torah, and from one of the verses in Exodus. I think it's when Moses was about to like part the Red Sea and save the Jewish people from the Egyptians. And what the Kabbalists, or kind of the mystical Jewish tradition people had done, was they took these verses and wrote them out in reverse order. And from there, they were able to get the Hebrew alphabet into these 72 different names of God. So the whole concept is you take these names of God and you meditate on them, using also the power of the sigil. And I'll show you an image here of what that looks like. I think this is pretty well-known knowledge, but there's so much power in sigils, in words. And the thing I've learned over the last bit of utilizing this form of like Hebrewic magic or Kabbalistic magic, because that's kind of where I like to resonate, is that there is power in vibration. And if we look at it, like if this is technically like a traditional sort of form of language, whatever, you know, the Hindus have Om as that like resounding first vibration of creation. There's something about the Hebrew language that was given and can really resonate. And this is, I also follow into like my own Norse tradition, being that I'm part Norwegian, part Scottish. I find them something very powerful in using the runes in chanting and creating that vibration for supporting healing in people, supporting healing in myself, and kind of creating changes. So I feel like all these are sort of like similar. They're like codes, right? If we think about our life in like this programming sort of computer program way, we have these codes. And the beautiful thing about the power sigils from this book is you can start to utilize these codes to create changes. So each of the names of God in terms of this specific book have been determined by the Gallery of Magick, this group of people who have spent a long time apparently creating, connecting to these spaces, and then writing out what each of the names does. So each of the 72 names of God, or these power names, represent a different theme in life. So for instance, there's something about getting into the flow of love. There's something about destruction, which I will talk about later. And then they go into more specific ways to utilize these sigils to create kind of internal reflective state changes, and also how to create external results in your life. So that's like the magic piece as well. I like to think that you need both, because your inner world is obviously a reflection of your outer world and vice versa. So if we can change our inner world, we can change the outer world as well. So again, this book I like think it's like so powerful. I've shared this with some people. I'm sure they all think that I'm like completely out of my mind, but that's totally fine. I think until you get into it, and I definitely encourage you, find it on Kindle at least if you're not wanting to spend like the whole bunch of money. I think it's like $5 versus $10 if you buy it on like an actual paper book. So get your hands on it. Definitely really, really great book. But I did want to talk about some of my experiences with this book. I like to play with the different vibrations or the different sigils, creating my like sacred space, whether it's like a magic circle or that like medicine wheel, sitting in there and then connecting. And there's a whole process they give you in the book that really helps you to transmute from where you are to where you'd like to be, and then using the sigil of power. I like to combine a couple different sigils, doing like one after another. I haven't done it like one at the same time. That seems kind of confusing at looking two different objects, but maybe that's something worth trying. Otherwise, sitting, meditating, 2 to 3 different sigils, sometimes just one, and allowing myself to see what comes into my life. And I wanted to share a bit like of some of the experiences that I've had. One in particular that I think was pretty transformative, and I'm still sort of at this place of, maybe I don't want to play with that one. And that is name 72, which is the destruction name. And of course, me being the Scorpio and all about the chaos, of course I'd be drawn to that one. So I guess a little pre-warning there. So there's so many different names, and I mean, I can't talk about all the different ones, but I love being able to connect with the sigil and then seeing how it starts to play out in my life through my relationship interactions, or even how I show up with like other people. Also how I receive things in my life, or maybe releasing some of the fears that I have, or kind of obsessive attachments, I guess you could say. These sigils have been so like powerful for me. And so, you know, you have sigils on letting go. So if you're wanting to let go of fear, if you're wanting to step more into prosperity, I love playing with that stuff, like seeing how we can really start to shift the world around us and our mindset through increasing prosperity and abundance. The biggest example I would give is around that last sigil. So definitely that pre-warning again, if you do decide to get the book, not to scare you off, but I think it's just something for me. Maybe it's my own mindset around it, probably. But the one sigil is all about destruction. And I knew going in that like, okay, I gotta be mindful about this one, even though my curiosity wants to pull me in there. When do I really want to use it, and for what? So there was one day that I was like, hey, you know what? I felt this call, like this is like the next step. There's something that needs to be shifted in like my paradigm thinking, the way I've like my belief systems. And so I chose to meditate on this name. And doing that process, I was at home, everything was great, finished. And you know, you don't meditate long on these things. You could do like a couple minutes, you could do half an hour, it's up to you. And I went and I was driving somewhere with my child. And all of a sudden, my car just like breaks down. And I remember being like, oh, what the fuck? Like, this can't be connected to that, can it? Yeah, probably. Anyway, so I had to get the car towed, all these things. And I remember just kind of thinking, oh, of course this would like happen. Of course. Like, and I don't feel like I get like many car issues. Like, I'm pretty chill. Like, not that much chaos happens in my life. I like seeing some things happen chaotically, blowing up my toenail, as my teacher would say. But yeah, anyways. So then it was in the shop and they're telling me all these things, and they're like, yeah, so this is going to cost you like $1,000 something. I can't even remember what the issue was now. Something about the engine or something. Yeah, something with the engine, because it was like a pretty big deal. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I definitely don't want to spend money, that much money. And first, like, where am I going to get all that money for my car and all the other things? So here it was like this sense of like wanting to create this, oh my God, lack mentality. Like, I don't have the money to pay for this. This is silly. Like, what if something else goes on with the vehicle, and blah, 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 blah. And it just started coming to me like, just trust. And I started to change my mindset within those like couple days. The car was in the shop for like a while. And instead of me playing out all these negative stories, I just started to think of other opportunities. I'm like, okay, well, I guess good thing I live where I live. I can walk my child to school. I can take the bus and the train to work if I need to, and like all these things. And my usual MO would be to like run to someone for help, especially my parents, to like run to help, get them to like support me and all these things. But I felt like this was really trying to show me this destruction of that kind of codependency or dependency on others. And then all these other things started to come up where I was being guilted into living my life a certain way. And in order to receive like money or to live a life of abundance, it was like just so like insane, the things that were coming up. And finally I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just do the things I know that I think can like support me within this space, and just trust that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Yeah, just breathe that in. And sure enough, like honestly, still to this day, I'm like, how the hell did this all happen? Boom. Just the money I needed, exactly the money I needed showed up. And when I like went back to that moment of thinking, hey, like, look what this destruction sigil did. It was like it completely blew out my thoughts of how I need to show up, how my life is in prosperity, how I tend to go towards a poverty mindset. And instead, it like allowed me to see that, hey, anything's possible, I'm supported, and that I create things. And then it got even deeper to the fact of like, look what I created with my car breaking down. Like I created my car breaking down through the sigil or whatever, you know, all these things are interconnected. And here I was shown through that destruction an opportunity. So an invitation for you today to just see and examine in your life where things might be breaking down. Why is that happening? What possibility is being created for you? And maybe it's just that you need to start seeing it in a new way. One great way is to literally go upside down. You can lay on your bed, you know, hover your head upside down, do that for like 5-10 minutes and shift your perspective. Just as simple as that. So that would be, to me, one of the bigger sort of experiences with the sigil. Really powerful doing this type of work with another person. I was doing it with someone, and it's like we entered into this like, I don't know, like this void space between. It was really powerful with both of us chanting the names and connecting and moving through like a similar intention. Ugh, juicy. Anyways, definitely check the book out. I will put a link down below. Let me know if you've experimented with any of these sigils, or whether it's through the book or through other forms, because obviously the Gallery of Magick or Damon Brand's not the only place that this exists. And also if you have any other Damon Brand books or Gallery of Magick books that you like, because I will probably make some other videos on that, because yeah, it's kind of fun. There's some I'm getting and still going through the process, and definitely enjoy learning about all that fun magic-y things. So until the next video, everyone, I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous day. Okay, bye.